Hey, what's going on? This is Jamie Supertramp, and this is the Monday Morning Podcast. This is a Germany update about my time here. I'm all comfortable here, as you would expect I should be. I've been here almost 90 days. Did you know that any American can visit Europe for 90 days? I'm not supposed to leave the border because I'm still waiting for my residence permit to come in the mail, which will happen. But apparently, I'm basically one of those people who overstayed their visa. That's me right now until it comes in the mail. So I'm a really low-key refugee, but I'm living well for a refugee. I'm settled in because I've been here that long, and there hasn't been an honest week of school yet. There was the intro week, and then there was last week, which was interrupted by Halloween. They have a 2-day weekend, and go figure, tons of other professors and personnel are taking extended vacations. I wish I thought ahead. I would have visited Berlin, but I didn't, so I just hung around here for the weekend. But these people take a lot of vacation, okay? And just when you think, okay, it's time to get down to business, I've been hanging out for 2 months, I'm ready to really apply myself in my studies. Yeah, then right after school starts, there's a 2-day vacation. But it was well spent for me, doing things that I want to do and doing things that I had to do. The fun part, that was, going to this bonfire. My Swedish friend, he's more up to my speed where he would rather hang out with friends than go to a club. So instead of everyone going to all these parties. By the way, I bought a wristband for this thing. It was like, there was a party bus, and you're supposed to go to 5 different clubs, and there's a party bus too. Like, the type of stuff UMass students should really typically love. But I don't know, I just didn't have the enthusiasm to do that. I just stayed in. I'm becoming a real homebody, which is maybe why I'm not even posting that much. If I took a Myers-Briggs right now, I bet I would have gone from extroverted to introverted. So here's an introvert reading you the news. Just kidding, I don't have that much for the news. Just me and my stuff and being here in Germany. So my buddy, he hosted this awesome, all caps, awesome bonfire party. It was the coldest day of the year so far, or night rather. You could see ice crystals and everything, but this fire was so hot that he made, because he made friends with a farmer who just hooks him up with wood. It was a group, there was not 100 people, but more than 50. All of us were plenty warm. I love a good fire, and that was one, and the music was just on point. Back at home, I have a nice stereo, and I've just been envious of people who have good sound. And this was good sound and good music, so it was a real treat for me. And then the day after that was Halloween, and it turns out it's my roommate's birthday as well. So I went out to this bar with her and her group for Halloween / her birthday. And there's a biker bar right by me, and I gotta come back and check this place out more on a casual day. There's a game there where you just nail. You just take these massive nails, like 9-inch nails, and you just hammer them into the log, and it's a race, except you're supposed to use the sharp part of the hammer, which really intensifies things. And there was also a foosball table, which if you've never played foosball with me, you know that. Am I trash at it? Yes, I am, but I also have the most fun. So if you measure success with fun, I am also the best foosball player in my own world, but objectively the worst. Oh my God, the kids I play soccer with, they're like these teenagers, totally destructive. Every time I go to the soccer pitch, there's like a new bike that has been mutilated there, like, bent tires and all that, playing with fire. Relatable. I can relate to being that young and just wanting to do destruction, but now I'm kind of tame, I'm just chilling out. But these kids, they're talking trash to me in broken English. They're saying, Jamie, you are the best soccer player. Innerlich, which means on the inside. It's like, okay, dude, I get it. I got you. Never said I was good. But I'm I'm like getting to the point, I'm as good as one could hope to get without being able to shoot. Yeah, that's right. Because most of soccer is passing except for the shot, or if you're playing on a big field and you're doing driven passes. But for the most part, you're using your foot like a golf club, not like a baseball bat. But for whatever, listen to someone who doesn't know how to shoot telling you how to shoot. But basically, I know how not to shoot, and that's how I do it. So on the field, I'm like this really hard-working player, except when it's time to shoot, and then I'll just give it a gentle pass into the goal. But it's been working for me the other day. I had a really great game, actually the last 2 days. And once again, I've been doing an hour a day easily, if you add it all up. Some days more. I miss a couple, but I do a lot more soccer than I don't do. And sometimes I just think if I applied myself in coding and learning Python as much as that, I would be a beast. But I kind of chilled out for a lot of this summer. I started off really strong, lost a little steam, but now I'm getting back to it, trying to keep up my momentum without going too far. Because I might have mentioned that I'm in a course where we learn Python. We're using Twitter data to predict public opinion and elections. And it's a sexy sounding title. It's a lot more interesting than a lot of the other stuff in political science. I've got like 10 different classes all trying to teach me game theory over and over again, but no one can touch it after being taught by Professor Musgrave. If any of you guys are at UMass and Paul Musgrave is still there, he's going to be at Harvard really soon, or on TV, or just doing something epic, but Paul Musgrave, his class is just amazing. He's a legend. It's the only time that I've been actually excited by a slideshow. Best teacher. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of classes teaching me game theory again, and this class is the fun one. In the first day, there were like 25 people crammed into this tiny room, but the first day must have scared people off because now it's down to like 11, which is perfect for someone like me with all these special needs because I'll be able to get all this help from the professor. And it's cool. On the second day of class, we built a Twitter app. Each of us, with our own Twitter account, made a Twitter app. You copy and paste these very important hash keys into these special places on the sample code he gives us. And bam, now I have a Twitter app, and I can monitor certain keywords as they come pouring into Twitter. Trump is a really very busy one, but I can monitor whatever I want. I feel kind of like Edward Snowden on a small scale. So I'm really excited about this Twitter class, and that's the exciting one. That's the one that I really feel like I'm going places with it, and I'm happy to be in the half of the class that isn't scared away. And but progress is not linear. Same thing in soccer. You'll just spend days making no progress, and then have a breakthrough. And same thing with coding. And yesterday, I was getting all excited because I was able to write a script, basically. Because there's the command line, that matrix-looking window where people just type stuff onto the black screen with white text, and it looks all scary because you can mess up your computer really easily. I've been doing some commands in there because when you're learning Python, you check out most of your code in the terminal, as they call it. Sometimes the command line. But I'm like, hey, I don't want to make people have to type this, or I don't want to make me have to type it. I want to save it in a script, so you can just, basically it's like this little executable file. So you see something on your desktop, you click it, and then it does whatever the action is you want. I got really excited because I wrote one of those, my first one. And I just got so excited with that. But then today, I came up with an idea for a script. And for any medium, basically, like a lot of people are creative in their minds, right? But then the catch is taking that creativity in your mind and like pinning it down on some medium where other people can see it. That's the hard part. And you got to get good at your instrument or your tool or your medium before anyone can see that. I'm not there with coding yet. So basically, I spent 3 hours trying to get the script to work. It didn't work. But that's just extracurricular. But like I said, if this week is an example of where I'm going, I will be doing an hour a day for coding, just the same way I am with soccer. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be doing way more than an hour a day for German, because as of right now, I'm signed up to 4 different German classes. So you can imagine how pumped I am for that. So I've seen some interesting things since my last podcast. I went to a metal show in the next town over, Radolfzell. Makes you wonder if it used to be called Adolfzell and then they just added an R. You know? We went to this metal show, me and my Swedish friends and a couple others. It was cool. It was like the evolution of metal. So there's a really old school band that sounds kind of like Sabbath, and then there's like a classic rock heavy metal band, and then there's thrash metal, kind of the Metallica sound, and then there was metalcore at the end. But we left because we had to catch the last train, which is fine because, you know, I grew up in the mid 2000s going to shows and stuff. I just liked punk, but you get a lot of hardcore and metalcore just by being in the scene. So I've had a lifetime supply of metalcore. I know what I'm missing, okay? So that was pretty fun. But other cool stuff I've seen, well, it's getting cold, right? So you're seeing a lot of people biking with their hands in their pockets, which is a rational thing to do. The coldness is one thing, but the wind is another. Because you could take the bus, I guess, but I'm more of the spontaneous type, so I'm still riding the bike every day. I'm doing about an hour a day, which is interesting because no matter how much I eat, I'm not getting fat. I mean, like, knock on wood just in case something happens, but so far, because of the soccer and the biking, I'm in probably the best shape of my life, even though I'm eating like a king every day. Cooking is a huge thing that I've been into lately because there's a bunch of food here that you can't get at home, and also I'm just fending for myself, and I'm trying to be a little classier. So anyway, to deal with the cold wind, I saw this woman. She had a kid on the back of her bike with this little modified seat. Well, you've seen stuff like that before. But what made it cool is there was a windshield. It covered like her hands and her face and her lower body. It looks like a riot shield. And damn, I gotta get one of those for my bike. That is gonna make biking in the winter so much more feasible. I was thinking small by trying to find those little hand guards. You might see them on dirt bikes and they deflect the wind away from your hands. Take it up one level, think it through to the logical conclusion. Then you just got to add an entire windshield to the bike. And then there's something else I saw yesterday too, and it's going to be controversial because it has to do with people taking our jobs. Just kidding, not people, robots. Okay, I saw this guy. It's speculative for now, but this guy, he had this remote control thing in his hand, and he was standing next to a John Deere tractor drone. And I say drone because, you know, all the mechanics of a tractor minus the seat and the place for the guy to stand. So he's just walking really slowly next to this tractor that was doing some type of like, it was like a brush hog, the type of thing that chews up shrubs and bushes on the side of the road. And I stopped to take a picture, but then the guy saw me, and I asked him if I might take a picture because Germans are. So this is something I dig. They're a little bit low key about their digital privacy. Like in America, I feel like it's totally normal to include someone else in your Snapchat. I happen to dislike that a lot because you didn't ask their permission. But here, you kind of got to ask before taking a photo. So. I asked him, and he got out of the picture, so I couldn't have the picture of the sad guy with the remote control, but I did get a picture of the drone tractor. And for now, it's remote control. For now. But the only thing keeping that guy's job intact is the lack of political will to just make it legal to have drone lawnmowers on the side of the road. Once that happens, that guy's job is gone. And that tractor is just one software update away from autonomy. The same thing for these new connected cars. Dude, I don't care if my car's connected. My phone has a signal on its own. I'm telling you, the reason why they want these connected cars is because they're going to retrofit them to be self-driving, which is fine. Which is fine from a perspective of reducing menial work. But I would be way less concerned about that if I truly believed in good faith that the government or society would take care of the people who lose their jobs. And I imagine that it won't. And that's kind of the reason why I support universal basic income. You might have been hearing more and more about that lately. But if you want to let the businesses have their way, they're going to eliminate jobs, right? They don't want to pay extra. And if you let people like the Labour Party, someone referred to the British Labour Party. That's analogous to our Democratic Party, right? They have a two-party system too, the Tories and the Labour. Just for fun, I was reading the manifesto of the Labour Party over there. It is so socialist by our standards, which, not in a communist sense, but they want to ban, they want to make sure part-time workers get the same benefits as full-time workers. And that's nice and stuff. But, you'd be disingenuous to say that won't increase business costs. Of course it will. If you're going to pay workers all this money, where's that money going to come from? So I totally understand why businesses would be adverse to that. But if the Labour Party gets what they want, they're going to raise here's another good example. They want to ban unpaid internships, which anyone who's been in an unpaid internship is probably rejoicing right now. And it's true. It is unfair that people who have the financial cushion, that they can get a leg up on people who don't. So it's a great opportunity if you're ready to seize it. But it is kind of unfair for people who pay to go to college and then can't afford to do an unpaid internship. So I totally get it. It's a good thing, right? Unless when you do that, businesses can't afford to do internships anymore. And then you have fewer people getting qualified. I don't know. If the Labour Party gets what they want, they're going to raise the costs of employment, and businesses will be even more motivated than they already are to automate. I don't know what the catch is. I guess what I want is for society to plan ahead for a soft landing when millions of people become redundant. Losing your jobs sounds very negative. It's becoming redundant. And in the language of the British Labour Party, that's what they talk about, is protections for workers who become redundant, which most of us will become pretty soon. And there's no reason to despair, provided that you live in a country that is long-sighted and going to take care of you. I just want a soft landing, that's all. But in the meantime, I'm just going to learn as much computer stuff as I can. So, I'll be a little bit better evolved for the digital future. Right? So I can teach the computer how to automate what I already do. Dig my own grave, so to speak. Unless you move somewhere like Germany, which apparently they have this thing where if you're super poor and you just can't get a job, you get 400 euros a month, but your housing is covered. And that's kind of cool because, housing in the U.S. is a lot. By the way, you can rent a room in Constance for about 400 euros a month, and that's for a pretty nice room. And people complain about that. Can you imagine getting a nice room in Boston for 400 euros, which translates to about $500? Still, that's pretty good. Housing here does not cost that much. All right, it's almost at 20 minutes. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Yeah, so that's a summary of my time here. A lot of tech learning, even adversely, because I have to learn all the not fun to use university software things for picking courses, but I have my schedule and I like it and I hope I can keep it. And the administrative part is the hardest part. The content of college typically for me is autopilot. It's hard, but you work hard and you get what you need. Whereas for the navigation through bureaucracy, it's just stressful because you never know if you're missing some deadline. I'm glad to have most of that stuff out of the way, and I'm happy to say that I'm going to be here for the whole year and adding a German double major. I'm really pumped about how much metal there is here, as in music. It's borderline mainstream. You'll hear Nightwish and, well, you hear Rammstein all the time. But then other bands like Nightwish and whatever. Just everyone I've met here so far knows and likes Nightwish. So I'm trying to build up a big crew to go to Wacken Festival. Or it's called Wacken Open Air. But that's a metal festival in northern Germany. It's probably the biggest metal festival in the world. And this year, Nightwish is going to be one of the headliners. So I'm trying to build up a crew for that. I've already got 2 people who say yes, they're going to go. I'm excited for that. So, hey, if you want to come to Germany this summer, come to Wacken. If there's anyone who's going to be coming for next fall semester, or as they call it here, the winter semester, why don't you come a little early? Come in July and come to Wacken with us. Either way, that's where I'll be. So, if you're listening to this and you're somewhere in Germany, come visit me. I will cook for you. I'm getting good at cooking. Do you like pho or pho? I'm getting good at making that and all other kinds of stuff. By the way, if you're getting into cooking, if you're sort of college age and learning how to fend for yourself, there's a YouTube channel I would recommend. It's called Brothers Greens Eats, or Brothers Green Eats. It's these 2 stoner brothers who live in New York who just teach you how to make delicious things in a cost-effective way. I've been getting really inspired by that. Then also making my own stuff, and I've been cooking for friends lately. I've hosted like 2 dinners already. You know how it goes. Cooking dinner, play some Monopoly Go, drink some tea. It's just a wonderful time. So if you're listening to this, come visit me, and I will cook for you. Oh, one more thing. Last week I was promising that I would post a video of me doing the rainbow, with the soccer ball when you flick it over your head. Somebody stole my soccer ball. I did buy a new one, but it turns out my old one was so heavy that it's easier to handle. It's a little counterintuitive, but I can't rainbow with the new one anymore, so I need to relearn how to do it. So, and by the way, I tried filming it another day before the ball got lost, and it started raining. There's a lot of rain here. It just comes and goes as it pleases. So I will have a soccer update where I show you the rainbow and some other cool tricks. But that'll be next time. So here, just in the meanwhile, write to me if you have any ideas about how to soften the blow of automation as the world changes to laborless. Is that a good thing? I would get into the whole utopia aspect if I just truly believe that humans would take care of each other. And I think we would if the conditions were right. But that's the job of political scientists and economists especially. You got to make the incentives line up. So that's where my brain's at. And if anyone has put a lot of thought into this and can come up with a way to think about the automation that I shouldn't be depressed, please let me know. It'll help me cheer up. All right, I actually have to get going to a class right now where we're going to watch German films. How great is that? Okay, I'm out. See you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.